So today we're going to be counting down my top 10 best free-to-play teams in Dokkan Battle for 2021. I wanted to make this list before the 7th year anniversary drops on the JP side of Dokkan Battle because I know when that happens, there's going to be either a new category or they're going to buff a certain category and it's just going to, jumble up this list once again. And I did want to give some highlights to some of the categories that did make this list because 2021, free-to-play has grown quite a bit, and the list, I think, has changed quite a decent amount from, last year. I do have one rule when deciding the categories that I thought were, honorable enough to be in the top 10, is that when I'm looking at the friend leader, obviously it can be whoever, it can be a summonable character, or 170% leader, whatever, but I'm only looking at that strict category only, as well as the friend leader has to lead the category mentioned. So, for example, the Ella AGL Frieza is a Sworn Enemies and a Phantabusiness Saga, and you can build around, those two categories entwined. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to look at strictly Phantabusiness Saga, or I'm going to strictly look at Sworn Enemies. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comment section down below after you've watched this list who should have been in the list if you thought that I'm missing a category, or if you thought my order was wrong, relist it. Let me know in the comment section. It's all community thing. It's all opinion based. So let's keep the comments going. And one last thing, make sure to leave a like on today's video and subscribe to the notification bell. We're at the end of 2021, so you're going to see a lot more lists from me personally. So if you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump in to my first team in the number 10 spot, and I think that spot is proudly taken by Android. I think this year, obviously, this end of past year, they have grown significantly throughout these past months here. They have a lot of friend leader choices, as you can see. It's equal or just a little bit less than Universe Survival Saga, and even though they're not maybe the most top tier friendlies, I think the sheer amount of choice is very good, depending on the event you want to go up against, etc., etc. And the main, benefit of this category is that it's just gotten so many easy A's this year. The Ella Android's easy A, which is now their best leader skill in the category for free-to-play. You have the Future 17 and 18 in here with the easy A's, and then we have the current timeline STR Android 18. We have the easy A's for 14, 15, and 13, which is really good cards, and I think overall, those easy A's have really bumped up this team. It's only in the 10th place spot because of the fact that, one, the friend leaders aren't the top tier, because I am considering them in the team build, and two, they only have an 80% leader skill technically. You could technically build a team around Siblings Bond using the AGL 18, but it does restrict then your team building situation. So that's why I didn't really mention it too much there. But yeah, Android has taken the number 10 spots. In the number 9 spot, we have Defenders of Justice. Again, another category that has risen up the ranks. I mean, it's introduced in 2021, but with Videl being the leader of choice, she's very, very strong. She doesn't link the best with the team, but the rest of the team links super, super well. And as long as you run a rainbow team, you can run a 130% leader with the Great Saiyaman LRs, which makes it a really high health, high damage, high defensive team. You have some really good choices. As long as you're versing Extreme, this team is very, very good. And then there's, decent choices for each single typing, other than maybe AGL, where there's only Great Saiyaman Trunks. But STR's packed with some really good units, such as High School Gohan, the Videl in Great Saiyaman. If you verse Extremes, the Transforming Gohan to Great Saiyaman. The only thing is this, other than the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 and then Videl, that's their only big damage dealers, huge damage dealers. So maybe late game, they're not as good, but if you can debuff, then this team is super, super awesome and links really, really well together. So I will happily put this in the number 9 spot. In the number 8 spot, we have Terrifying Conquerors. It used to be, what did I put him in, the 2nd spot in last year? They've really dropped down, and that's just because I put this rule in place with the friend leader. You can make a Terrifying Conquerors, team without these leaders, but because I have to include these leaders, I am going to put them all the way to the 8th spot. I think Cooler has just aged horribly this year, and Turles was never really a choice for me personally when building these free-to-play Terrifying Conquerors team. But other than that, the free-to-play cards itself has, been really good. I mean, you still run Demon King Piccolo as the leader for the 120%. He's aged decently well. You always have so many good choices because there's so many extreme units that come out that have this category. And of course, the Ginyu Force are in there. So you got to count that in to consideration. And then you have the Ella Frieza and whatnot, and all like the Buu Barbies. There's a lot of LRs in here, and it's just constantly growing. So this team is always just great, in my opinion. But just because of Cooler not being the most defensive unit of all time now, and then you have to transform him to keep the damage up, but then you lose like the support and everything like that, it is kind of a janky team, considering these rules. In the number 7 spot, we have Earthlings. Earthlings is an amazing free-to-play team. There's not much to say about this other than, like, there's no Dokkan Fest leader, so we don't have a 170% leader, but double LR Krillin gives a nice 300% HP attack and defense, which makes this team go easily over 400,000 HP, close to 500k. So leader-wise, they're good. Krillin does not do the most amount of damage, however, which is unfortunate, but they do have Roshi, they do have Mercenary Tao to keep that damage up, and they have a lot of different utility units like Roshi and Tien, who can seal and lower attack. You have Hercule and Buu, which can tank. You have the LR Hercule to lower attack. There's so many different effects that the category does. It's very, very strong, for sure. A big issue also is that, that not everybody in the team links well together as well. So, number 7 spot is pretty good for this team. In the number 6 spot, we have representatives of Universe 7, and I'll put a slash in it, Universe Survival Saga, because why not? But Rep 7 is a crazy team just because their friend leader choices are insane. You have MUI Goku, you have Vegeta, you have the Go Frieza. Any of these 3 choices, you are doing some decent damage. You are going to be running physical UI Goku, which I think is the biggest downfall of the team because he's only a 77% leader. That's about it. And then the choices, there's only literally one team you can pretty much run, and which is UI Goku as the leader. Then you have the Easy A's being the Roshi. You have Tien, you have Krillin 18. I think I run TUR Physical Roshi as well. And then you have to run the STR MUI Goku. And that's pretty much your team. That's pretty much what's, pushing them back all the way down here. But if we get more, it's going to be a really strong team. And I think just MUI Goku and the friend choices is just what carries this team so high. In the number 5 spot, halfway through the list, we have Pure Saiyans. Nice little upgrade for them, which is the Super Vegeta Dokkan Fest. Make it so that you don't have to run Evolution Blue Vegeta or God Goku anymore and have some decent attack. And then, of course, it's Dragon Ball Z. So you have your Gokus, your Vegetas. I mean, you're obviously going to have some really strong cards. You have the new LR Goku as well, which is very good. And yeah, I mean, the selection is huge. As I'm scrolling down, there's so much to pick. So you shouldn't be worried about a certain event. The only issue that I can think about Pure Saiyans is the fact that Vegeta sometimes is not tanky enough because of you're using like a 120% leader skill, because he has to take the hit first, making him he has to be in the first slot. Also, not many free-to-play characters that are worth putting on the team link with that Super Vegeta. We really need to wait for the Prime Battle Vegeta to awaken, and then the team is going to be really good. And if he becomes like a 120% Pure Saiyans leader, this team could shoot to number 1, honestly, just because of that. Like, the potential on this team is really, really strong just because we're just waiting for a Prime Battle into Vegeta to Easy A. But yeah, it's got equal defensive units. You can build a stacking team. You have high damaging units in here. It's very, very balanced, and I think it deserves number 5 spot easily. All right, in the number 4 spot, we have Planet Namek Saga. What can I say? I mean, Easy A Ginyu Force, one of the easiest Easy A characters to get, and have an exceptionally well built out kits. Has good health. The only thing lacking is the leader skill only being a 90% leader with LR Prime Battle Frieza, or if you're running, I guess, the LR Ginyu Force, but then you won't be able to run Frieza, which is awkward. But Frieza being like a top tier card in Dokkan Battle, super, super good. Ginyu Force links well together. They're well defensively good enough. It's just an easy team, and I think that's the reason why I put it so high. It's just because they're really, really easy to get. But outside of the Ginyu Force, there's not much else in terms of selection. Like, you can bring the Int Frieza, which is really good, or the second form Frieza if you're versing like Super Battle Road or something, which is nice. But yeah, usually you're probably going to pick all Ginyu Force. So yeah, Ginyu Force definitely making this category worthy for the number 4 spot. Number 3 spot, we have Kamehameha category. Literally, if you think about the top LRs in Dokkan Battle being Roshi and Goku, this is the category that has Roshi and Goku. So I think just other than that is deserving of this 3rd spot here. Just the top tier free-to-play cards are in here. I think LR Gohan's still a decent, leader, just because he can tank really, really well with a few super attacks. I think Kamehameha is a really awesome team. It has, stackers in here. It's got a very high damaging unit. Like I said, Roshi and Goku. And it's got a good leader skill that wouldn't hurt you when you put him on the rotation. Bad thing is, you have to run LR Prime Battle Goku right now. That's the only, proper viable leader, unless you run a Goku's Family only type of deal. But then you get restricted just a little bit more. It's not that huge, but it's that's the only awkward part, the leader skill. In the number 2 spot, we have Buu Saga. Buu Saga has one of the best friend leaders, both tanky, both strong, got some good utility with Super Vegito, transforming, you can seek super attacks. You have a fat leader skill with the Buu and Babidi Prime Battle. The Buu and Babidi link so well, so it's not like you're sacrificing a good leader skill for a bad card or something like that. Like in Goku's Family, Goku Gohan is not worthy to put in the main rotation, while I think Buu and Babidi is still decent enough to put in the main rotation with the Buu and Babidi, if that makes sense. You got a lot of LRs. You have a 120% leader as well with 2000 Day Goku, Great Saiyaman, Easy A, one of the best free-to-play cards in the game. I think it drops after that. That's the only issue why I don't think it's the perfect category. I think when it comes to long events such as LGE GT, that's where it drops, because you don't have much stackers in the team. You have Candy Vegito, which I guess is okay, but and then Hercule. Those are the real only stacking defense. So when it comes to long events, you're not gonna be excelling as well. But in short-term events like Super Battle Road or Dokkan events and whatnot, this team is super, super good and has a lot of different choices regarding that, and has a lot of health and everything like that, and you have one of the best LRs in the game. And in the number 1 spot, I think it is still... I don't even know if last year I put Goku's Family in the number 1, but I think it is Goku's Family in the number 1 spot. It's almost a mixture of Kamehameha together with Pure Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans, essentially. And you have a good leader skill, which is the GT Goku. He's very, very strong. You have a nice mix of defensive units and really strong units, such as, the Gohan in here, which I wouldn't say I'll put him in the main Goku's Family team, but if I needed to take out somebody really fast, then this Gohan is really good. You have B-Pan in here. You have a tanky LR Kid Gohan. You have the new Goku in here. A lot of LRs. You can run a full LR Goku's Family team, hitting over 500,000 HP. You have so many good different Gokus in here, like Yadrek Goku. You have the Goku Gohan, who can stack defense. The AGL Goku, UI Goku. There's a lot of good Gokus in the game, funny enough, in a Dragon Ball Z game. Who would have thought? And then, some Gohans, high school Gohans, stuff like that. And it's just going to ever grow further and further. So, yeah, I think Goku's Family is the best right now. Who knows what the year 7 anniversary is going to give us. But I think right now, if I was to pick any team to verse LG, GT, ESBR, if I was to pick one of the ESBR categories that I think would be one of the easiest, be Goku's Family, Buu Saga, and for LG GT, I'd pick Goku's Family, because I've done it before, and maybe the God event. I should try the God event again with Goku's Family. Who knows? But that's going to wrap up my top 10 list But before we do that, we got to trick the people that, you know, skip the video and troll them. So we're going to go quickly do this. And in my number 1 spot is Super Saiyan 3. I mean, look at the friend leaders in here. They're so good. The free-to-play leader skill is insane. Super Saiyan 3 Goku's crazy with the leader skill. You have so many free-to-play choices. How can you argue that this is not the best free-to-play team? Anyway, guys, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on so you don't miss out on the daily content. Check out my social medias, linked in the description. Let me know what other top 10 or tier list videos that you want to see in the future. With that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay fizzy. Peace out.